The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
The comfort of your mom's extended arm as a safety belt, the freedom of riding a bike without a helmet, or the satisfaction of slapping back the carriage on a typewriter, all lost to a modern world. Add one more casualty, the old southern loop of the Nurburgring. From the nostalgia-challenged modern Nurburgring's Grand Prix circuit, it's the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. And all the action from both the initial 40-minute feature and the 25-minute sprint that follows can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Guten Tag and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. Way up in the press box to bring you our Word's Eye view is yours truly, Bill Soups On, along with Sean Crackers Ambrose. Down in the production van, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Amjad Yaman, and the cameras at his disposal have been located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. It's round 9 of 12 on the Season 6 calendar, and as cyberspace flows into your place, over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the doubleheader format of the Renault 2.0 Championship event that will immediately follow. Sean, GSRC has been to Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit before, but never for an AOR event.
Shonen Tag, Soup, and yes, they built this in the mid-20s. The Nurburgring was originally two circuits, the 7.7-mile Southern Loop and the 14-mile Northern Loop, which hosted the German Grand Prix. But in 1982, the Southern Loop fell victim to modern safety concerns and was demolished. On the side of its pit complex now sits the modern Nürburgring's GP circuit. Originally a 12-turn, 4.5-kilometer circuit, the new track was revamped in 2002 with the replacement of the Castrol chicane by the Hog-Hook right-hander and subsequent Omega-shaped Mercedes Arena turn, bringing the circuit to its current 16-turn, 5.1-kilometer specification. Now, along with the parabolic Dunlop car and the signature section, is the Michael Schumacher S formed by turns 9 and 10, flat out in this Formula Renault 2.0. The GP Strecke alternated with the Hockenheim as the site of the German Grand Prix until the race was dropped from the F1 calendar back in 2015. But the track continues to host rounds of the German Touring Car Championship, the Blancpain GT and Endurance Series, World Endurance Championship, and in combination with the remaining 12.9 miles of the Nordschleife, the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. While many traditionalists refuse to accept this new track, clinging to a nostalgic past not likely to return, let's let you draw your own conclusions as we take our lap around the modern Nürburgring's GP circuit.
All right, we've got Scott Newton in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around the Nürburgring. Coming down to the first hairpin, it's a great chance for an overtake, but anyone on a single screen setup might find it hard to hit the apex accurately. It also makes it kind of hairy racing side by side or attempting a crossover. Pretty quickly, you've got to switch sides for turn 2. The curved exit can make it tough to gauge when to put the power down. Same thing with the approach to the chicane of 3 and 4. The curved braking and the very slow nature of this portion can make it frustrating. It'll be easy to overdrive it through here. From there, you've got quite a ways to turn 3, but this upcoming left-hander is still a difficult one to pass on. It's deceptively quick and also leads directly into the forward curve, where the switchback means having to compromise your line. It's best to try and hug the left side on the exit. A lot of drivers will be setting themselves up for a run out of here down into the Dunlop hairpin. Expect more attempts at an overtake into the braking for this long, patience-trying right-hander. There's a fair bit of banking in this corner, but it's still very difficult to make passes around the outside. Plus, as you come out of here, drivers will be tracking all the way out, and you're likely to get shoved into the gravel. From there, switch to the right to help you straighten out the Schumacher S. This will be flat out, so it's all about limiting your steering inputs. Then comes turn 11, which sometimes offers chances for a sneak attack. But be careful about how wide you come off on the exit, because you need to quickly switch back to give yourself as good a run as possible off the Bilstein curve. Compromise your line through here and you're going to be a sitting duck since it's a long acceleration zone down to the Vidal chicane. This is another place where overtakes will be very popular because the draft is going to be reeling in anyone within striking distance. Side-by-side battles will be erupting often, but it's so incredibly tight through here that you'll want to make sure you're single file once you reach the apex. From there, it's a short burst to the final hairpin, which is pretty straightforward. Square off your exit for a better launch to keep yourself safe from attack down the front straight. Make sure to practice your pit entry too so that you don't have a Coulthard moment and smash into the pit entry wall. But hopefully you kept it all together and have now finished a lap around the Nurburgring.
Joe Peak on the mic, Scott Newton on the wheel, taking us around the Nurburgring Grand Prix Strecke. Thanks to Apex Racing UK for providing today's lap guide. Now, let's quickly see what happened last time out at Phillip Island. You know, where 25 drivers took the grid down under, with newcomer Peter Berryman once again on the pole. This time, the internet gremlins that plagued him in his series debut were nowhere to be found as the UK driver quieted his doubters, such as my booth partner Sean Ambrose, by going virtually wire to wire for the win. His first win of the season, and for that matter, his first AOR career victory. Former champ Kerry Knowlton battled with Michael the Oven Mittner for most of the race, but Knowlton was able to stand the heat, finishing 3 seconds ahead of Mittner as those two drivers filled up the final pair of podium positions. It was a disappointing race for points contender Phil Reed, who gridded third but found trouble and had to settle for 16th. In the final laps, the attention turned to Little Bird Sarah Dove as she was able to stay ahead on the lead lap ahead of Berryman to earn pole position for the sprint race. 16 drivers finished on the lead lap with some big names like Renee Oosterkamp, Phil Reed, and Enric Andre up front. Dove and Reed got together on the first lap. Andre found trouble mid-race, but for Oosterkamp, however, he stayed clean and led most of the way. But with minutes remaining, the SimRC driver made a mistake, costing him the win, which allowed rookie Josh Thompson to come from 12th to become the day's second first-time ever winner. Christian Koch fought from 15th to 2nd, and the feature race winner Peter Berryman followed Koch through the field to take 3rd. Oosterkamp had to settle for 5th behind defending champion Christian DeKetch. So, who was the big points winner from Phillip Island? You know, Andy and Jackson in the GSRC graphic department were not happy as the Phillip Island overlay featured 5 fresh names that were not on the previous Road Atlanta results overlay, so a lot of work for those two. With a win in the feature and a 3rd in the sprint, and maxing out on bonus points, 1 for pole and fastest laps in each of the heats, Peter Berryman sits on the top of the chart with a whopping 52 points. That is the highest total so far for Season 6. Point leader Christian Koch did what he needed to do, and that is finish ahead of those guys that are chasing him. Kerry Knowlton had the best points day of the season for him. A win in the sprint put Josh Thompson on the list in 4th, and Christian DeKetch 7th and 4th earned him 29 points. So, how did all that affect the point standings? GSRC will show you those right now, and these will take into account the 2 drop races that the rules allow for. Vector Simsport's Christian Koch's lead got a little bigger with Jean-Francois Gaudin missed Phillip Island, but thanks to the magic of drop races, he managed to climb a spot on the chart. But make not Vector Sims. Don't forget about, take note of the Vector Evo Sonics driver, and we're talking about Godin here. Look at his pocket points; they are at 0. Oscar Mangdon goes up to 3rd, but like Godin, pocket points will not be much help the rest of the way for him. He only has 2. Phil Reed drops to 4th, Christian DeKetch and Renee Oosterkamp swap places. For the first time this season, 3 teams have both drivers inside the top 10. Now, let's go ahead and look at the team championship. Unlike the Phillip Island result overlay, Andy and Jackson were happy here when they did this one because there were actually, their job was really easy. No changes going on the left side of the graphic. They did need to edit the Red Devil Racing, replacing Charlie Summers' name with Daniel Morris. Morris Editions helps Red Devil move up a spot. But making its first appearance on the team graphic is Apex Racing UK's, thanks to its newest member, the one and only Peter Berryman. For Berryman and Chambers, that's an interesting duet that certainly highlights the edges of the talent spectrum. Now, as always, Formula Renault is always attracting new viewers, so for those tuning in for the first time, our director Amjad will put up the series details right now. And Sean, why don't you talk us through them?
Soup, let's take a look at this real quick now. Of course, we're in season 6 right now. For all of you new people watching today, yes, 6 seasons in this Formula Renault 2.0. This is round 9 of 12, and you can have 2 drops, and that can be a combination of a sprint and feature race, or a couple sprint races, but you get 2 drops, and that's it. This format today is 2 races per each week, each round, and we have a feature race and a sprint race. We'll talk more about that in a moment. The important thing to remember here, these drivers are on their own. It's an open setup. This is not the iRacing fixed setup. So they've spent time practicing, finding speed in these cars, making tweaks to the setup just like they would on an actual grid on race day. They are ready to go, and you don't get any fast repairs, Soup. And boy, we've seen it week in and week out here. Repairs on this machine generally mean you won't find the front of the field again, and you have to wait for the next one. And we'll be watching that closely today.
Yeah, just to follow up on drop races, Sean, you do have to drop the entire event. So you get to drop basically 2 weekends. You can drop a sprint and a feature, and then another sprint and a feature, but they both have to go. Let's talk about, Sean, the doubleheader format, which is something completely different from anything GSRC covers. So with a pair of races on the docket, let's take a look at what's coming up first in the feature race.
Right, and excuse me for stumbling over my tongue. Thank you there.
All right, man.
Thank you there, Soup. I appreciate you. Now, the race distance here for this feature race is going to be 40 minutes. All right, and they are qualifying on track right now in this session here, all trying to get that fast up to find the pole. That's how we will grid them up. The pit stop, we will need a pit stop here. It's a very, very large window for the pit, but they will need at least one pit stop to get this 40-minute feature race in. It's a 16x incident cap, and that means contact with the cars running off the course. All very, very possible on this tough Grand Prix circuit. The points pay back to 20th position, and they use the standard iRacing point system.
And Sean, trust me, I plan on making many mistakes, so feel free to correct me as many times. I plan on making at least 4 this race. So let's go ahead and talk about the curving here. Now, so many of these races are depending on keeping the car clean. You hear the drivers talk in the interview about, oh, man, I was doing great till I damaged the car. How do these little fragiles Renault fare here at the ring?
Well, so, fortunately, curbing, not as big a deal here as some other places. There are a few spots you can get yourself in trouble. Certainly the exit at turn 4, one of those spots you can pick up incident points going off. Use a tough area there where there's a bump in the track, and that can present a bit of a problem. The hairpin here down at turn 1 can be very, very tricky. Down on the very, very tight inside part of that, it can upset the car. But for the most part today, you will see them actually run up on the curb, try and use that for maybe a little bit of grip on that exit off. Use those rumble strips also to find a little bit of grip. I talked about earlier that the Schumacher S is going to be really fun to watch, because you're going to see the cars side by side fighting up into that, and that's a flat out section of the course, Soup. So pretty exciting race on tap for us today.
For broadcasting a Formula Renault Championship event, that means a standing start, which means cold tires at the start. What factor is the weather going to play today?
Well, I tell you what, it's 27 degrees Celsius on track right now. It's mostly cloudy and about 21 degrees outside. But again, that mostly cloudy condition and a track that's a little warm. I will tell you, based on my practice experience, that the cold tires on the opening lap are a factor, because you're hitting a lot of turns here early. Yokohama S, and then all the way through this complex here, turns 2 through 3, 4, 5, and then you got to get to the Ford curve down there, and then to the Dunlop curve down at the end there. That hairpin, those all need an incredible amount of grip to get it right, Soup, and that will be an issue here on this first lap.
As you see there, we're looking at Evan Emery putting in his last qualifying lap here, as qualifying is just about done. And he has come across, and he is going to steer it in there somewhere. Evan, where are you going? He looks like he's going in 15th position. Let's go ahead and bring up the grid right now, as I believe qualifying's wrapping up. And we have about 27 drivers on the entry list. Well, he's back. After getting the win in the feature, Peter Berriman will keep an eye on him, and he is fast, about a half second faster than Manuel Hoyer. Sean?
Yes, he is, and it's going to be Christoph Holstein inside of that second row with Kerry Nolden.
Patrick Kessler and Rene Osterkamp make up row 3.
All right, and Ciotella is start in row 4 with Phil Reed.
Bottom of the oval area filled up by Michael Mittner and Scott Newton.
Okay, row 6, Daniel Morris, Jean-Francois Godin.
Knut Martinson and Adam Tierney.
All right, and then 15th going to be Evan Imre, and 16th will be Andy the Milkman Cowie.
17th and 18th, Patrick Jun and Lee Robinson.
Sardub, Alexander Waldo on row 10.
Hidden Blackjack, it's Urka Lindstrom inside of Silvio Hurt.
All right, row 12, Daniel Barrero, and Tobias Pompey.
There's a new one. New name, Tobias Pompey. Then the last 3 drivers not able to put in qualifying times, Christian Tkach and Darren the Magic Wand Potter. They did put in practice time. Another new name, Patrick Ingstrom, out there, didn't put in a qualifying time, and I don't think he's on the grid. So maybe only 26 drivers going to grid up here today. Watch out for Christian Tkach. Still waiting for him to get out there. The defending champion, has he taken his spot yet? No, I do not believe so, as we continue to wait. Tkach not there yet. They were going to wait for him as long as they can. Wasn't able to put in a qualifying time. He is fastened in the hunt for Red Devil Racing, both in the Drivers' Championship and the Points Championship. Well, I think, Christian, you're going to miss out as the engines start to harmonize right now. It's round 9 of the Apex Online Racing Formula Championship. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows, because it's the hot shoe, Peter Berriman. He is being challenged by Manuel Hoyer. I think Hoyer has a shot to take the lead. Berriman on the outside. Hoyer has the preferred position. Look at that. The hot shoe's going to have some work to do as he falls back into second. Nolden, Holstein, and Osterkamp. Holstein and Osterkamp side by side right now.
Soup Adam Tierney got checked up, and they stacked up behind him, but everybody underway.
How about a tip of the hat and a wave of the hand to Manuel Hoyer right now, out in front in that number 23 machine. He qualified 0.7 of a second slower than the man behind him. Peter Berriman had a horrible start. This is good news not only for Hoyer, but for the rest of the field as well, as this will keep Berriman at least in the hunt. Sean, is this the kind of track where you can grab onto the coattails of somebody and follow them around, or is the draft really doesn't play that big of a factor here?
I tell you what, you're going to have to wait until you get to a section on the track where it straightens out a bit.
The front 3 start to separate right now, as Nolden now is about 1.2 seconds back ahead of Osterkamp, Holstein, and Kessler.
Yeah, watch them do it here, Soup, as they come out of turn 12. Head down this straight here. They will try and use that draft just a bit.
And I think the trouble spot might be, you might be thinking, hey, they're doing so good. They've worked their car so far around. But turn 14, this is where they really have to wool the car up. Basically, stop the car, get out and push it around these corners. 1, 2, 3 through. 4, 5, 6 through. Here come the rest. Everybody getting woed up as the string single files through 14 and 15. I think they're going to make it. They do. One driver coming in early. That's Jean-Francois Godin coming in for a pit. Was there a penalty, or did they jump the start, maybe?
Wing damage, Soup. Wing damage on that car. He was one of the cars that got stacked up.
Godin having a great run right now in the championship hunt. So there you see them coming in. He comes in along with Adam Tierney. Up front, Hoyer being challenged for the lead. Duck into the inside as Berriman takes a peek in. He spies, he tries, but Hoyer denies. Now look at the run on the outside. This is Nolden. Berriman lost momentum, and that's another spot down the order for Berriman. Nolden now trying to get up into the lead. Nolden goes wide. Berriman wants it back. They are Cialis bathtubs as they head down into Dunlop. Woo-hoo-hoo! Who would have thunk it?
Lee Robinson having a problem back in 15th.
And while that's going on, while you're talking about that, I think that Berriman might have got a little bit of a love tap into the back of Kerry saying, hello. Berriman now falls back into the clutches of the Swiss cheese-colored car of Rene Osterkamp. Racing up front that I'm watching, racing way in the back that Sean's watching. It is outstanding laps being put down so far. 1.5 laps down so far. The big news, Peter Behrman falling down the order.
We'll suit back here. Sarah Dove is on the move, up 4 spots already. Lee Robinson had gotten off track. He fell victim to Sarah. She was able to get around up to 15th. Lee Robinson, he's picked up a couple, but still sits in 16th. Now he's chasing Sarah.
Sarah's got about 2 seconds to catch up to the next driver, Patrick Jung, who sits in 14th position. They are single file all the way through to the back where you get to Sarah as they complete lap number 2. And pulling away, it is Manuel Hoyer. He's got a 1.3 second lead on Nolden. Here comes a challenge, though, for second. Nolden in the blue car on the outside. Berriman's going to get him this time. Move Peter back up into second. Berriman back to third. Osterkamp watching the whole thing for fourth. Holstein and Kessler, your top 6.
Big passing opportunity down in turn 1, Soup. A lot of it happening there. In fact, just saw Erka Lindstrom make a move down in there for position. He got around Daniel Barrero.
The top 7 run in formation as we look there at Lindstrom in 18th. Let's move up. We'll run down the back half of your top 10 a little bit. How about Acio Telius running in 8th position? He's being challenged by Michael the Oven Mittner. Mittner not able to make up much ground right now. Started 9th, still running in the same position. Scott Newton behind him, Morris and Knut Martinson. So a nice little 5-car train running from 7th back to 12th. Let me make that 8th back to 12th. In fact, here's a battle. Let's look at 8th position. They go side by side. That's Tejas. That's the Mittner trying to get in there. The Oven Mittner trying to make a move. Not going to happen. Michael has to wait. Right on board with Mittner right now in 9th position. Looking ahead at Tejas. The leaders work their way through 14 and 15. That brutal left-right chicane that slows you down. Now they go through Coca-Cola. They do that with a smile. Berriman in second, chasing Manuel Hoyer.
I'll tell you what, I'm still following Sarah Dove back here. She leads what's now a train of cars because of the fighting that's been going on between her and Lee Robinson. Robinson now looking to make a move down into turn 1. He goes for the position on the inside here.
He wants that spot back. Oh, look at her. Cut the door. And who's that off there?
That was Acio Telius.
Tejas.
Oh, and he spins it again. He's spinning more. Watch out, Acio.
I think it might have been a little ghost contact from Scott Newton. Oh, and it also involved some other drivers. Tejas was involved, but it also picked up Daniel Morris as well. We can stay on the drop back maybe. Yeah, well, let's stay right on Tejas here. And I'm not sure who that driver was. It might have been Morris. Yeah.
It was Morris, and he gets heavy damage on his four-wheeler Renault. Oh, no. Let's look at it from Morris's point of view here. He's just going to get tackled up in this innocent bystander. Oh, man.
Maybe he can keep the car limping around until the pit window opens and come in so he doesn't have to make a second stop, which would be deadly.
Well, with a lap that takes just under 2 minutes to get around here, he may be able to limp it around until we cycle into pit stops.
You're looking there at Jung, who really that's the teammate of Osterkamp. Jung really had to get some style points for this one as we ride on board. All this going on behind Hoyer, who continues to lead. Berriman has got around Nolden. Nolden drops down into third. I can report that Reed has made a pass and has got now up into 6th position, getting around Kessler.
And Lee Robinson picking up another spot, continuing to recover, gets around Daniel Morris, who, of course, we know that car a little bent up, but Morris keeping it on track. Sarah Dove just behind them, trying to hang on. Andy Cowie, here comes the milkman. Oh, and Sara spinning. Oh, tough break right there between turns 2 and 3. Car gets loose, and man, she just gave up a bunch of spots. She's going to slot back out in 20th.
It's too bad for her.
Really, really tough part of the track where she slid there. You're in third gear, trying to get to fourth, and then having to slow the car back down to get into a very, very tight left-hander.
Looking at this right now, this is a battle with Mittner. Again, we've been watching this, and he's working on Kessler right now. Kessler going the wrong direction. He was up to 6th position. Qualified in 5th, fell back to 6th. Reed got around him, and now Mittner is trying to make his way up. Oh, we got to go up front. This is Hoyer and Berriman. Berriman, they get really close. Berriman's going to get a great run out of the chicane, out of 15, and he's going to get the lead. So pencil it in, boys and girls. Peter Berriman back out in front. He started on the pole. He was in 2nd by the time they got into corner number 1, but now all is right with the world as Peter Berriman is back out in front. I'm going to watch it on replay. Riding on board with the hot shoe. He gets to the inside of the first part. Then watch the momentum that he has out of 15. Then he gets the drive down into Coca-Cola. And now we're back live. Berriman, Hoyer, Nolden, Osterkamp, Reed, and Hoyer, your top 6. Let's quickly... Well, go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say, it's time to pay the Berryman.
Oh! Let's go ahead and look at Patrick Jung. He just had an incident. He got loose right in front, of Lee Robinson.
Wow. Oh, poor Lee. And Lee was really... we talked about his recovery. Finds trouble. Patrick... Tough break for Patrick there. He's going to have pretty good damage on that car. Lee, of course, going to have nose damage on his.
Now, I want to go to 15th position. This is what we talked about on the grid. It was Christian to catch. Well, he did make the grid. Now, look, he's got Daniel Morris in front of him, and then Lee Robinson. I think both those cars have had issues. I'm not sure how healthy either one of those cars are. And Takach says, yeah, you guys are not feeling well. Let me through. I am quite fine. As he tries to make the outside pass work, he's going to get that done. I think, yep. Move to catch. Yep. Now, this is your defending champion, up to 13th.
And up to battle for 2nd. 3rd, I'm sorry, Osterkamp, Kerry Nolden. Nolden hot on his tail.
Yeah, well, Osterkamp has made that pass. Nolden was running in 3rd, so Osterkamp had got him around somewhere. So now Nolden trying to get it back. Osterkamp on the move. He was able to get around. Oh, look at the dive down to the inside. This is an interesting line that the blue car of Nolden took. He got in there, but I'm not sure if he's going to have any drive off. No, and what it's going to do is kill his momentum, and that's going to let the driver behind him, Phil Reed, try to get in there. Great fighting going on. Osterkamp out in front. Nolden trying to use some unique racing lines to get the pass made. Reed in 5th, watching the whole thing, Christoph Holstein.
Yeah, Phil Reed having to be very careful here, following really close, and has made up a lot of ground.
Oh, a little help.
Tipped. Oh, Nolden runs off after giving just a little bit of a tip there to Osterkamp.
Osterkamp gathers it up. He's going to lose many positions. 4 of them. He's going to lose it to Reed, Holstein, Mittner, and Kessler. He drops back into 7th. The worst for wear went to Kerry Nolden, who drops all those spots back to 8th. Osterkamp not happy where he is, though.
Boy, so the big winner there. Phil Reed all the way up now to 3rd place.
Thank you very much. Took 2 helpings as he went around Osterkamp and Nolden. Up to 3rd, leading a train, though. Holstein behind him, Mittner, Kessler, and Osterkamp. Top 2 drivers have pulled away. Berriman and Hoyer really seem to be the class of the field. Hoyer was 0.3 of a second faster than Osterkamp in qualifying. Uh-oh. Hoyer has had an issue.
Yeah,
as has Phil Reed.
Hoyer has an issue at the exit of the chicane. Let's replay it for you now.
Stay on this with Hoyer, and then immediately go to Phil Reed. Here we go. This is a driver running in second. Sometimes you just don't like good fortune. And look at this. He has this big off. He spins. Now watch Reed in third.
Yep.
And I guess maybe Reed just lost concentration, maybe to get around Hoyer. That's what happened.
It really looked like he made an evasive move with the wheel and maybe just a bit much of it. That's what put him in the grass.
So, nobody wants good fortune. So the drivers in second and third both have issues. We saw it happen with Osterkamp and Nolden, and now it happens with who would it be? Hoyer and Reed both have issues. So that moves. How about this? Christoph Holstein, welcome to second position. No, Michael Mittner has got around Holstein. It's Mittner now up into second.
Sarah Dove just had another problem soup in the same spot on the track as she did previously. Ah, boy, tough break for Sarah. Sliding all the way back down now to 15th.
Looking at her. Okay, viewers, take a sip of your soda. Sit back, relax, let's take a breath. I'll run you through the top 10. It's the pole sitter, Peter Berriman, who fell all the way back to third at one point, is now 10 seconds ahead of the guys who are chasing, mostly because of the nonsense going on behind him. Running in second position right now, it is Michael the Oven Mittner. He just got around Christoph Holstein, who runs in third. Kessler, who had fallen far back, I think at seventh, is back up to fourth. In fifth position is Osterkamp, who was way up front as well. Phil Reed running back there in sixth. Osterkamp coming into pit, as does Reed right now. Emre has worked his way up to seventh. Knut Martinsen in eighth. Manuel Hoyer, who was once your leader, has fallen back to ninth. And I'd like to say that Andy the Milkman Cowie is in 10th, but he's come into the pit, so that's going to give it over to the guy who was late to the party, Christian Tkach.
Yeah, Soup and Tkach just keeps digging.
Yeah.
It's been really, really methodical on this run. He's got 6.5 seconds to go catch Manuel Hoyer.
Sean,
right.
with 25 minutes left, this is probably in the window of all these guys who are coming in now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely in that window for a pit now. And I think several of these drivers are probably jockeying for the best position they can find right now. Probably, if you're not fighting with anybody, you're probably going to be coming in here next time around, or at least the next time after that.
Well, I think Osterkamp, who's leading all the guys who have pitted out there right now, probably thought that he was faster. But because of the mistake, he had all that traffic in front of him. Let me get in behind, get some clear track in front of me. Or if there is drivers I have to negotiate around, it'll at least be guys that I can pass. So Osterkamp comes out right now in 13th position. Let me correct myself. I guess he is not in 13th. Yeah, he's in 13th, yeah. There he is, and he has nobody in front. Well, he does. He has to get around Sarah Dove. Poor Sarah. She is just a magnet for action right now. Let's stay on this a little bit, because this is the leader of all the cars who have pitted. What my dad used to call the early peel, late reveal. You peel off early to take your pit stop. What's revealed later is, hey, where did this guy come from? But right now, Sarah having none of it. Interesting, Sean. These are the two drivers that were matched up last time. The sprint race regrid at Phillip Island. Sarah was just inside of Renee Osterkamp. The racing gods are very funny, as sometimes they like to carry up for a second round two. And right now, the Swiss cheese machine makes the pass inside of the little bird. Move them up to 12th. She's not done yet, though, because here comes Carrie Nolden. Sarah, the big names are coming. Phil Reed back there as well. Look at Sarah fighting back. She gets into the toe. She's going to be side by side now. Not able, doesn't have the straight line speed to get Nolden. That's Reed now getting in there. And so now Osterkamp, Nolden, and Reed have all negotiated the little bird. Up front, the man trying to make it 2 feature races in a row, Peter Berriman. Things were not looking good for him early on. He got jumped on the start, fell all the way back to third, took his time, And the Hot Shoe Pro driver is well out in front now. Michael Mittner in second. Let's go to third. This is Holstein and Kessler. Holstein up in front in the blue car, Kessler behind him.
Yeah, and these two have been at it for a little bit, Sue. A couple of evenly matched DH drivers.
Holstein was about 0.2 of a second faster in qualifying, but right now they seem to have good race pace. What Kessler has seen in front of him, I imagine Kessler probably says, I'll just wait here and wait for everyone to pass them while they're in the grass.
Boy, Soup, right back here, Knut Martinsen really wants this position for Manuel Hoyer. He is all over him right now. I see, of course, we're watching Holstein and on screen, but
side by side now.
Again, right behind him there and coming into the picture down the straight, it's those two battling.
And there we go back. We were looking at Kessler trying to make his way around. That's the Orange Viking Kmart back there in this familiar Force Fissy blue and yellow machine.
Yeah, and what they've done is they've reeled in Evan Imre now, who finds himself sitting in fifth. And what a run for Evan to start this race, Soup. Having a pretty good go here in Germany.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order for Martinsen to stay on there with Hoyer. Remember, Hoyer was really fast. In fact, Imre is next on Hoyer's hit list. Hoyer was your leader. He was running away from Peter Behrman early on. Then the gremlins got him. And I'm talking about internet gremlins. It was the gremlins between his ears.
Soup, shout out to little Stevie Chambers, who isn't running today, but he's there in the chat. He gets my jokes. So
Stevie's happy right now. He is teamed up with Peter Behrman, so his teammate out there in front is going to be a good point stay for Stevie. Stevie, I'd like to know how you got that gig. Amjad is questioning my information, but I do believe that Peter Behrman is racing for now has joined Apex Racing UK. That's with Scott Newton. That's not with Stevie Chambers.
Soup, you're in trouble.
There you go. See, I told you I was going to make a mistake. There's my first big one.
I think we're going to have an overtake here. Kessler going to try and get Holstein. Holstein going defensive on him. Holstein getting that better line down there on the inside. Kessler going to try and make it work from the outside here, Soup. Oh, you can't do it that way. Yeah, not today. I hear big Dikembe Mutombo in the background. Not in my house.
Yeah. No, no, no. I'm going to blame my last mistake on the guys in the GSRC graphics room, because I read that off the graphics, so that goes to that's Andy and Jackson's fault for having that wrong on the overlay. Stevie drives for he drives for like AOR podcast or something, right? No? No? He's with Baldo, who's in the pits. All right.
Yeah.
We love you, Steve. Oh, I know what's today. Okay. He drives for Krakamaka Chaka Chuka Chaka.
That's a nice stab at it there, Sue.
Well, I don't have it in front of me, but yeah. All right, Stevie.
Oh boy, Daniel Barrero here in a good fight. Kerry Nolden getting by him. Yeah, he's pulling it off now. Barrero fighting back. Look at this, Sue. All four of these cars here just mixing it up. There's Renee Osterkamp, Phil Reed, Barrero coming back. That Red Bull livery. Oh, almost goes wheel to wheel here with Kerry Nolden.
Remember, this is a battle, although Nolden is in 10th, this is a battle for the lead of all the cars who have pitted. Nolden was able to get around Osterkamp. Remember, it was Osterkamp, Nolden, and Reed when they came out of the pits. Nolden has made that move, and now Osterkamp is trying to get around this newcomer of Daniel Barrero. Barrero may not be familiar with the names as, oh, and there's a little bit of hello. You'll get familiar with Phil Reed. And in fact, He scares Daniel Barrero into the pits. Phil Reed took a big shot, though, on the front of his wing, and he's already made his pit stop, so that's not going to get repaired. In fact, as the replay comes up, you can see the Reed has a... Watch this. This is Phil saying, hello. There you go. And I think what has happened now, that might slow down the straight line speed of Reed, as now he's fallen back into the talons of little bird Sarah Dove.
So, you know, we talked about Christian to catch earlier and still out there, hasn't taken that pit stop. Christian, of course, got a late start here. Come up 17 spots right now, sits in 18th. I'd say definitely moving through the field.
During the break, I will go back. Let's go to 6th position real quick. This is Emery and Martinson in a nice battle. I'll go back to see if actually Christian to catch gridded or if he had to start from the pits. Emery in 6th. Looking there, there's Emery, Martinson right behind him. Neither one of those drivers have pitted. Nolden, Osterkamp, Reed all made their stops, and they were fast stops, all about in between 4 and 4.5 seconds. No damage there. Your top 9 drivers yet to come in. Erkel Lindstrom, the last driver to come in before you get to Nolden. Here comes Evan Emery. You know, he got tired of the battle that was going on there with Martinson. So Emery pits from, I guess, 5th position. Let's see if we can find Nolden right now. Nolden just going through the 14-15 chicane, heading down. Gonna take a swig of Coca-Cola here. He works around that one. Now on the gas, is he gonna get by Emery?
I think so. Emery's still on the jack.
Oh, he's rolling now.
The jack and rolling. They're gonna be close.
There goes Nolden.
He's gonna get by pretty clean there, actually.
There goes Osterkamp. Is Reed gonna get him? There goes Reed. And now there's Sarah Dove, but of course Dove has yet to make that stop. Emery drops back in ahead, behind Reed and ahead of Dove. Nolden continues to be the leaders of all the cars who have pitted. On the lead lap. 45 seconds behind the leader right now. But only about 20 seconds behind Martinson in 6th.
Boy, Soup and Berryman still turning 151s around here. Not showing a lot of drop-off. Super well past the halfway point. Really only about 8.5 laps left to go. Berryman is really just putting on a clinic here today at this Grand Prix circuit.
Looking here, this battle continues. We look at Holstein. Oh, careful, guys! And that was Kessler.
And he spun it by himself, Soup, but nobody to blame but himself.
Now, Kessler was making the move. He actually got it out there. He took it in hotter than desert sand, and he couldn't get it wound up. So Holstein able to hold on to that spot. Kessler didn't lose a spot.
And you know, probably just thought, hey, I'm getting in here too hot. A little bit too much pressure on that pedal. Sends him around. He only loses that one spot, as you just said. Manuel Hoyer still a 2.5 behind him. And our leader getting ready to put down Daniel Barrero. He's going to lose the lead lap, unfortunately.
Well, that's the bad news for Barrero. The good news is Barrero has made his stop, so maybe he has a chance to get that back. I would think with the domination of Berryman, there was a chance to see the double here today. But I'm not sure how many of these cars are going to go a lap down. I think it's going to be a pretty big field on the lead lap. So if Berryman is going to win and win, he's going to have to really work in the sprint races. I think there's going to be plenty of cars ahead of him.
Well, you know, one of the disadvantages for some of these drivers when you talk about a 3.2-mile circuit, it takes, like I said, just under 2 minutes to get around. Finding that back part of the field not going to happen very quickly. I'm really just ready to see when these guys are going to come in. You've got your top 8 battle for 11th on screen.
Emre and Dove going at it. That's a little misleading as Dove still needs to make that stop. Oh, it's Emre and Reed. That is real. That is real. And again,
Yeah.
but that could be a little misleading because I don't know how healthy Reed is. Oh, Holstein has had an issue as he spins again.
Well, let's pick up the replay on that.
We'll see if
Holstein has trouble coming out of the carousel the last turn. Boy, that really snapped on him. Looks like he might have overcorrected there, and it snaps. Gets really, really lucky not to end up in the barrier soup.
did not lose a position. Of course, he lost it to Hoyer, of course.
Let's see. Urkel Lidstrom is in the pit. Sarah Dove is now in. Kessler just now coming out. The dominoes are starting to fall, Sue.
Yep, now we'll see Nolan, though, still the leader of all the cars who have pitted. And he's just in front of Osterkamp right now. Drivers who've yet to come in, Berryman, Mittner, Hoyer, Holstein, Martinson, and Tkach. About 10 minutes of racing to go. Shauna, it's got to be timed pretty soon. Next lap, I think.
It's definitely time. You know, when you know you have enough fuel left, it's really tough to come off the track when you're really feeling it, man. It's a tough it's a tough thing to say. Okay, let me break this momentum and come off the track and do a pit stop.
The only driver not on the lead lap, other than drivers who found attrition to be the problem, is Daniel Barrero, and he could get that back.
No, I'm pretty sure he will, Soup, when our leaders come in. When Peter, especially when Peter comes in, he should be able to get that back.
We could be looking at 22 cars on the lead lap, which would be a tall order for some of these fast guys in the back to get up there.
Yeah, pulling off the double today may be a little difficult. We'll see.
If you're looking for
there we go.
There we go. Here he comes.
We're in Tkach together.
If you're looking for big names that might be tough, Jean-Francois Godin running in 19th position right now. You'll be happy with the regrid. All right, let's see who gets out first. It looks like it's Hoyer.
Yeah.
Gets out in front of Tkach. But not in front of Nolden. Nolden continues now. He is up to 5th position. The only cars in front of him, Martinson, Holstein, Mittner, and Berryman.
Yeah, and then there were 4. So
yeah.
Literally, there were 4. Everybody behind them either in now or just coming in.
Oh, let's go to Hoyer. He's had another spin right in front of Tkach. Tkach will have the best view of this one. Right here. Here we go. Boy, Hoyer has been his own worst enemy today. He was racing in 7th at the time. He had the Red Devil driver coming up right behind him, and whoop. Tkach makes a little move to the right, gets around him.
Our leader is in. The leader is in the pits. Peter Bergman bringing it down.
So does Mittner.
And Martinson.
And Holstein. They're all in.
Let's watch Kerry Nolden hitting the chicane now here in 14-15 Vidal.
Yeah, unless he has like nitro in his car, that's not going to happen. We'll see what he can get. Berryman is out. Mittner rolling right now. Now this could be the one that maybe Nolden could get to. Yeah, this could be close.
Yeah, Nolden's going to get a good run at him. Boy, it's just not going to be enough, though. It looks like Mittner really, really got out well.
Yep.
Still about 5 seconds.
But he was able to get those other guys that came in that we're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Him and Renee both pick up big positions there. Both find themselves fighting for a podium spot.
Okay, boys and girls at home, I know you're scoring. Check your clipboards. You can see where Nolden and Oosterkamp were when they made their stops. They were running way back in like 7th and 8th position with traffic ahead of them. What they did was come in early, get out of traffic, get that stop out of the way, run clean, and when it was all said and done, they got around all the guys that were ahead of them. Kessler, Holstein, Martinson, all those guys. And now they run 3rd and 4th.
Now, can I create just a little bit of drama here for Kerry Nolden?
Okay.
Soup, he's about 10.5 laps on this load of fuel. The longest stint was 15 laps, just done by Peter Berman.
Okay.
So right now, he's going to be right on the edge with the fuel to claim that final podium spot. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it, but Nolden may be pushing it here, remembering that he came in early. This should be fun.
Viewers, what Crackers just did there is draw straight from page 17 of the GSRC Commentator's Handbook. Always try to add drama to an event whenever possible. So
he's going to be right on it. I will tell you.
Okay.
I think he's cut it close.
Looking at P7 right now. This is Martinson and to catch. I think it's just a matter of time till the defending champion back there in that black, red, and white trimmed Red Devil car gets around the Force Fisting machine of the Orange Viking. Kmart doing his best. Let's see what type of line he takes. Kind of taking it right out of the middle. I guess that's the straightest line in there, but look at Catch trying to do it. Watch as this track, boy, you really, Sean, more than any track I can think of, where you have to work the left side, then it throws you back over to the right side, then back to the left side of the track.
Yeah.
The track twists back and forth.
Oh, yeah, and especially right here where you're constantly managing that there in turns 2 all the way through 4. It's quite a malaise in this machine. Yeah. Even once you've got the heat in the tires, the grip is still really hard to find. You've got to be careful through there. Knut Martinson doing a really, really good job of keeping Christian behind him, but I don't know if it's going to last much longer. Here comes Christian.
Got to do it high, wide, and handsome, though. Let's see if he can get... Oh, he's going to get the little dip to do, the little hokey-doke, the little up and under. See if he has any momentum off of the Dunlop corner. Now they go through the S's of 9 and 10, but Sean says it's flat out. To catch... Oh, he's too close, actually.
He gave him a little bit of the, the chrome wing,
chrome ring. Oh, a little bit of the German tuba is what he gave him there on that one, trying to move him out of the way. A good battle. What happened there? He had such a good run, but there was just nowhere to go. We'll stay on this a little while longer. Really, probably the best battle out there. Nolden is in a close battle with Oosterkamp, but I don't think Oosterkamp is really forcing the issue right now. So we ride on board with the defending champion.
He's definitely trying to force the issue, but Knut's not having any of it. Goes to
here he goes.
There. Oh, here we go. Down to 1.
And he gets, is he going to know? He's not going to get it done. Look, what a great fight between these guys. Look at the camera work there by our director, Amjad Yaman, as he pants back, focusing on the Orange Viking. And is it done? I believe it is, in the words of my partner, Richard Losmer, done and dusted.
Wow. And to catch gets that spot, Soup. That's now 18 spots picked up by Christian to catch. At the rate he's going, I've got to be honest, fighting from the back of the field may not be a bad thing for Christian to catch today.
We look at our leader right now, Peter Berman. He has upped it to 21 seconds over Michael the Oven Mittner. Mittner just quietly running out there, 4 seconds cushion. I think we're going to have 2 to go at the line, which means it's time to check on who's last in line. And sure enough, it is Daniel Barrera. He is 1 minute and 41 seconds behind the leaders with lap times of about 1:51. He's got a 10-second cushion with 2 to go. The question is, will this newcomer Does he know what's in store? Has he read the rule book? Will he understand that he'll be starting on the pole? Will it be a bit of culture shock for him?
Does he have any clue that he will be the hunted?
Just to make things worse, he's going to be inside of another newcomer, Tobias Pompey. Poor Jean-Francois Godin is going to be looking ahead. He'll be on the inside of row 2, looking ahead of 2 untested rookies in front of him. We ride on board with Nolden back, looking at Osterkamp, which has had nothing for Nolden the entire race.
No,
I'm sorry, nothing for Osterkamp. Osterkamp came out in front after the pit, and Nolden got around him, and then that Swiss cheese machine has just been following the blue, red, white car all the way around.
Yeah, I think it's been about preservation for him here. Just take care of it, bring it home. He's got a good. He knows he's going to be starting from the back at this point. The podium is still at stake, though.
Let's go to Reed. Reed in 10th. Reed was running. Remember, Reed was running with Nolden and Osterkamp, and then Reed got into the back and I think picked up some front wheel damage. Here comes the Milkman trying to find a way around. Manuel Hoyer back there as well. Andy Cowie looking to see if he can get. He tries to get the run. Working both sides of the street like a jaywalking Milkman. Now going to try to do it on the top side as they go into Dunlop. He'll have to do it high. He gets a little bit wide. That lets in Manuel Hoyer. Let's see what kind of run the Milkman can get out of 8. He has a pretty good run. Weaving back and forth is Reed. Hoyer gets the spot over Cowie. Woohoo! This is a battle for 10th. Reed out there like a wounded boxer with a broken rib, trying his very best to protect what he can while people are taking shots at him. Here comes Manuel Hoyer. I think this is going to be all said and over. Yep. Hoyer up to 10th. We're going to go back to P3 now. Oh, look at this. Osterkamp has decided that it's time to start playing the game.
I don't think this is over yet at all. Osterkamp does have a little something left here, Sue. He's kept himself just close enough to carry Nolden the fight.
I think that was a case of Osterkamp saying, I'm not going to be able to go anywhere if I do get around you. Let's wait till the white flag lap, and I'll make my move there. They come down into 6 and 7. Meanwhile, the leader is working his way through the S's right now. He'll be a little while before he gets to the start-finish line, so we can stay on 3rd place. Nolden in the blue car, Osterkamp in the banana-flavored car. They race for 3rd. Nolden's gridded in 4th, up a position. Nolden started in 6th, up 2 spots. I don't think that the SimRC driver really is going to have anything for Nolden right now.
Big fight here for 10th spot. Phil Reed trying to hang on to it. Hoyer.
Yeah, this is actually a better battle. Let's stay on that one. Yeah, the battle for 10th. And our winner, our leader, has come around Coca-Cola. Round number 9, the feature race is going to go. His second one of his career, Peter Berriman. Mittner's going to get 2nd. Let's go back to 10th position. That's where the action is.
Yeah, Phil Reed, Manuel Hoyer banging wheels as they came out of the Dunlop curve. Now they get through the Schumacher S's, get run down this straightaway here. There's Cowie making his move.
One more shot, and that is out of 12 going into that 14 chicane. Oh, I don't think it's going to happen. Now it's going to maybe open the door for Cowie as Reed is way off pace. Hoyer is long gone. Here comes Cowie. This is the spot he had to do it. He gets alongside. Coming up, it's going to be to the left first and then to the right. Not going to matter as the Milkman delivers the goods as he moves up into 11th. And as they go into Coca-Cola, I think Cowie's going to be able to fend him off. A good run from Reed, but that car has no straight line speed. There we go. Cowie is going to get 11th position. Reed gets 12th.
Well, that was good. That was good racing there for that position.
Sure was. Let's go ahead and follow the last cars in line. Silvio Hurt going to be in 18th position. Not sure if Silvia's going to want to start there. Look at this. Jean-Francois Godin has fallen back Daniel Barrero is not on the lead lap anymore. So this is good news for Jean-Francois Gaudin, who will be on the outside of row 2. And the man scheduled to start on the pole. Tell me something about him, Soup. Well, his name has 6 syllables, about the same amount of vowels, and that's all I know about him. He's from the DH group, and we're talking about Tobias Pompey, but we'll learn about him as he's going to be on the pole at the sprint race. All right, this, of course, is a AOR event, which is a doubleheader, and the best part of any doubleheader is the break in between. It's that perfect blend of a post-race high and the pre-race jitters. What we're going to do right now on the Global Sim Racing channel is take a short break, but don't go far. We'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers who were just in the feature race, and then, of course, get everything lined up for the sprint race that'll be coming up a little bit in the future. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. It's round 8 from the Nurburgring Grand Prix Strecke. Time to run down the finishing order of the feature race that just concluded. Peter Berryman, he won last time. He wins again today in the feature as he finishes 22 seconds ahead of Michael Mittner. Kerry Nolden, Renee Osterkamp, that battle was hot for most of the race. Nolden the best out of that duet. Patrick Kessler, Christoph Holstein, Christian to catch. That was the drive of the race, 25th to 7th. Knut Martinson, Evan Emre are next in line, and then rounding out your top 10, it is Manuel Hoyer.
All right, Soup, and finishing 11th today, going to be the Milkman, Andy Cowie. Bill Reed going to finish 12th. 13th, Erka Lindstrom. Daniel Morris, 14th. Sarah Dove comes up 4 spots, finishes 15th. Adam Tierney, 16th. Scott Newton, 17th today. Silvio Hurt, 18th. John Francisco Den, 19th. And in 20th, Soup, Tobias Pompey.
The question is, will Tobias decide to start from the pole? We will see. Now, the guy we talked about, Daniel Barrero, he was not able to stay on the lead lap. He finishes in 21st, 1 lap down. Then all the rest of these drivers all had problems with attrition. Daniel, the Magic Wand Parter, Patrick Jung, Lee Robinson, Acio Tellas, Alexander Valdo, 21 laps down. And he's the last car that actually took the grid. Now, let's talk a minute here while we wait for some drivers to come into the interview room about Alexander Valdo. I'm going to set the record straight once and for all with these teams. All right, let's start with Red Devil Racing. They originally started with Christian Tkach and Charlie Summers. Now, Summers had to retire, and that's when Daniel Morris took that spot. The problem I had was I got Daniel Morris confused with Scott Newton, who races for Apex Online Racing. So let's go to Apex Online Racing now. You have Scott Newton. He has been joined now by Peter Behrman. That's going to be a very impressive team. The problem is, once again, I got Scott Newton confused, this time with little Stevie Chambers. Little Stevie Chambers, of course, races for this horribly named team. I'm going to take a shot at it here. Cracker Lacasaka Puntas. And, of course, he is teamed up with the guy that I started this whole conversation with, which is Alexander Valdo. So I think I've got it straight for all of you guys keeping score at home. I'm going to put $5 in the swear jar here if I make another mistake for the rest of the season on those 3 teams. Okay, you got it, Sean? You understand?
Yes.
Sean, okay, good. All right. The good news for us here is the Cracker Lacasaka Puntas team doesn't really seem. Stevie Chambers is not here, and Alexander Valdo didn't finish on the lead lap, so we may not have to say that name again. Phew. So what is interesting though is Peter Behrman and of course the man who does our lap guys, which is Scott Newton, are teamed up for Apex Racing UK. They're going to be good, and that's the team that has moved into 10th on the overlay. We'll watch them as they start to move up the team championship. Nobody wants to. Sean, you must have been mean to the guys last time. Nobody wants to talk to you?
I think so, Sue. I think I disappointed them greatly, and they have no interest now at this point.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry. I tried hard. I did.
All right. Well, let's go ahead then and take a second and look at some big names that were down at the bottom of the order. The first one that comes to mind here, which sticks out like a sore thumb, is the guy who's going to start outside of row 1, and that is Jean-Francois Godin. Sean, I think we could be looking at wire to wire there, maybe, huh?
Possibly, Soup. I mean, well, that's pretty incredible pace he threw down there.
He qualified 12th, so I'm not sure. He must have got in some issues. Pretty good. A faster qualifier, though. How about Scott Newton? He's going to be right behind him, outside of row 2.
And Newton had trouble early, and I don't think that was any fault of his own. I don't think that's indicative of the pace he can have. But boy, I'll tell you what. Overall, looking at his average speed, Newton in that last session, I don't know if he has enough to stay up near the front there, Soup. There's some drivers that are a little bit faster that could find their way up and challenge him for that position.
20 on the lead lap, so that if everyone decides to regrid, that's what 19 cars to get around for Peter Behrman if he looks to do the double, which we haven't seen in a while. Okay, I think that the next session is up, so what we're going to do here is take another short break on GSRC, get our ducks in a row. We'll be back in just a flash to bring you that exciting 25-minute sprint. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula 2.0 Championship, Round 8 from the Nurburgring Grand Prix Strecke. Time to run down the finishing order. Nope, I'm reading the wrong part of the script because we've already done that. What we need to do is...
I really rattled you with that video.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sue.
Sean played me a really bad 80s music video here. We were thinking about giving a nickname to Peter Berryman. What was the nickname going to be, Sean?
The ferryman. Don't pay the ferryman Berryman.
Yeah. But I just hated the song so much that I refuse. I'm not going for it. But Sean, what we can do is talk about the sprint race details that are coming up.
Let's do that because that's really important. Let's save our race fans watching to talk about this race coming up. 25 minutes. You have 25 minutes to come all the way from the back of the field, Mr. Berryman, and win this thing and pull off the double. Good luck today around this circuit. It's going to be tough. We're going to invert, of course, the lead lap cars from the feature. So we talked about that. Tobias Pompey in the 666. The Diaz driver will get a shot.
Will he or won't he?
To be a hero or a zero soup. I don't know. We'll find out. Now, you're not going to need a pit stop on this one. If you're pitting, you've lost. You're not going to...
Yeah.
You're not going to do well. Into the cap now. It is down from the feature race. It's only 12x. We didn't see anybody disqualify from that first event, so I think we're good. I don't really we need to worry about that so much now. The points, they do pay less and only pay the top 16 in the field for the sprint race. About 2/3 the value on the points for this one, Sue.
And Sean made me watch that horrible video. I still have the taste of it in my mouth. And it reminds me of with such short cuts and takes that we're going to have. We're going to try not to cover the sprint race in that fashion, but honestly, it's hard not to because there's action up front that we have to cover. But then, Sean, there's also action back there as the leaders who won in the sprint race won in the feature race try to work their way through the field. That's always exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see guys like, well, our winner, Mr. Berryman, have to come through literally, what did we say, 20
19,
20
well, 19 for him, because he has the 20.
Okay. Yeah. Now, some drivers are going to have to do this a second time. Someone like Christian Tkach, who winds up with a great finish in that last race, of course, started. I don't know if we found out exactly where he started from, but I do think he started from the back of the grid or the exit of the pit lane. So, he's going to have to do this all over again. This facility here, it's easy to get away and get a good run if you can find some clean air in front of you. But if you're stuck in traffic and you're battling, you will lose time, and that's what's going to make this hard to pull off. So this is not a short circuit. It's 5.15 kilometers. It's got 16 turns, and it's a beast to get around. A lot of these turns are hairpins or chicanes, so we definitely need to pay attention to the run these guys are going to have to make through the field. It's not going to be easy.
Okay, now I'm getting messages that little Stevie Chambers wants to change the name of his team to reflect that song.
The Christopher Appreciation Group.
Oh, jeez.
Just to spite you, Sue.
God, it was horrible in so many fashions. I cannot begin to go into. I'm putting it behind me now because I have other stuff to talk about here with a minute of practice to go. I'm going to do my best. Well, the point is, we're going to really make our director Amjad Yaman work, because we're going to try our best not to jump around too much, but we got to show you the action as it unfolds, so get ready.
I'm ready, Soup. I had a lot of fun practicing here yesterday. I know this circuit catches a lot of heat from a lot of drivers about not being very good. I'm going to disagree just a bit. I think the challenge of this circuit is mastering it. I think if you could do that, you should feel pretty accomplished as a driver. I will say this, I never mastered it, so I don't feel very accomplished. That's okay. That's not much different than I feel most weeks when I come off the service. So, but no, this is a fun track. It's what you make of it, man. It's a good combination for this Formula Renault. I like the fact that you can take a few of these spots on the track at a high rate of speed. And to catch, having a little bit of fun there to close out the practice session with Kerry Nolden. Soup, it's time to go, baby.
Let's go to the grid, and we're going to get our bonus money easily on this one as we have a small field. Okay, Tobias Pompey and Jean-Francois Godin on the front row.
Okay, Silvio Hurt, Scott Newton, row 2.
Big name here, Adam Tierney and Sarah Dove, 5th and 6th.
All right, and row 4, Daniel Morris, Urka Lindstrom.
Phil Reed and Andy Cowie round out the overlay.
Row 6, Manuel Hoyer and Evan M. Ray.
Baker's dozen spot goes to Knut Martinson, Christian to catch. Watch out for him in 14th.
Row 8, Christoph Holstein and Patrick Kessler.
Then we get down to the big names here. Renee Osterkamp, Kerry Nolden, 17th and 18th.
Row 10, Michael Mittner. Your winner, Peter Berriman from the feature race.
Then the guys that didn't finish on the lead lap, Daniel Barrero and the Magic One, Darren Potter. Sean?
I'll take the last 3. It'll be Lee Robinson, Lucia Tellis, and Alexander Waldo. Where's Waldo? Well, he's here in 25th, and it's time to go.
And sure enough, he decided to brave it out. And we're talking about Tobias Pompey as he sits on the front row. He is staggered. Now he's going to start on the outside here. This is interesting. He gets the front row, but he's on the outside. Look at the jump that Godin got as they come in now. And it looks like Godin is going to get this spot easily. Pompey back to 2nd. Pompey gets a little bit loose. He's okay, though. That
4
brings
wide.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh. Out of turn 2, they have trouble. Several of them. Cowie, Evan M. Ray, and Urka Lindstrom all involved in that suit. We'll go back to that.
We'll bookmark it, and we'll try to come back to it when we have time.
Boy, Kerry Nolan had trouble too. Oh boy, not good for Kerry. Coming out of turn 4, he spun it.
And those are the guys we talked about being in the back that have the issues. Nolden trying to get that good run.
So, Peter Berriman already in 12th.
Up front, it is your leader starting to pull away. It is Jean-Francois Godin. Pompey's hanging able to hold on to 2nd, ahead of Newton and Tierney.
Boy, to catch in a big battle back here with the Ciotellas, he's finally able to get around him. But coming up on the inside is Patrick Kessler getting by Tellez.
There we go. I got my timing and scoring working now. I hope you all enjoyed me being quiet for a while. I'm sure the fans appreciated that. Let's go ahead and look now. This is Tierney making a move on Pompey. No, it's Newton. Sorry, Newton on the outside of Pompey. He gets that done. Tierney trying to do it as well. Tobias doing a pretty good job of holding on in there as he's going to lose one more spot now as they work through 16.
Oh, Silvio Hurt gets tipped. Oh, no. Boy, it was in the last, in Coca-Cola there. Silvio's going to get tipped.
Getting into him, it looked like the closing rate was the card. Oh, my goodness.
Patrick Kessler at the was there. Yeah. Kessler just going to get a run.
We're going to go back to the start now and look at that. We see it now. Sean, who was it? Do you remember who had an issue?
Well, I mean, they were 4 wide to begin with.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Cowie's going to get hit by Lindstrom there in the red and white car on the inside. And then Kerry Nolden in that, and just a mess there, Sue.
Nolden in the blue car. We're looking at that right now. And I guess there he goes off. That was the yellow car. It looked like a Force Fissy car either. Maybe Osterkamp that he got into. Oh, it was SimRC. Sorry, yes, that's what I mean. SimRC. Osterkamp would have been gridded right with them. Okay, Sean, what do you got?
Battle for 7th. Sarah Dove just getting around Tobias Pompey. Peter Berriman is already here. He has inserted himself into this battle all over Pompey now. Pompey, your pole sitter, about to give it up to the winner from the feature.
I think Berriman has a real shot at getting the double here right now. Now that's Holstein in the blue car, as they're going to maybe try to go both on the outside of Pompey. Pompey right in the middle. He's got some huge names behind him. Berriman dives it in, but he's on the outside, not going to work there. Look at behind him. That's the blue car of Holstein right in there as well. Now moving up on the inside, that's Martinson in the yellow and blue machine.
And Mittner right next to Martinson almost makes contact out of the exit.
Back up in front, though. Now Berryman will have that good line going into Yokohama. It's a sharp left-hander. They get that done. This is corner number 1, and I think it's going to allow the blue car to get in there as well. Take that spot. That's
Holstein. It's side by side there with Pompey. Car off the exit. This is a tough left-hander, very slow here, and then you got to get it right back to the right. And that's the position right there that Holstein wants to be in. Coming off exit, he'll get that spot.
And there goes Mittner through as well.
That's right, and Mittner comes through also.
But right now, Peter Berryman running in 8th spot. He's got Sarah Dove in front of him, Daniel Morris, Hoyer, Tierney, Reed, Newton, until he finally gets up to Jean-Francois Godin. Some pretty big names up there, Sean. Maybe my thought to get the double was a little optimistic. Let's go to 4th position. This is Hoyer and Tierney.
Pompey makes contact with Rene Osterkamp. They hook up wheels, and Osterkamp goes off track and is destroyed. Back there at the Schumacher S. Look at this on the replay. You're going to see the contact. And that's going to send Osterkamp around and into the wall, up and over.
Pompey could not keep the car to the inside, kind of drifted up into the SimRT driver. We're going to ride on board. There is no room out there. Did he get squeezed? No. Osterkamp was about as far over as he could be.
Just racing and I don't know, maybe a little bit of inexperience there from Pompey. Not sure, hard to tell.
They're not driving to the store for bread. That's,
That's going to end it for Osterkamp. He decides to pit it in and call it a day.
So Berryman has got around Dove now. Berryman up to 7th. Holstein trying to follow suit, but he's got a ways to go to get to the Little Bird.
All right, Sue.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Berryman now up to 7th. We can start seeing what kind of journey he's got to get to Jean-Francois Godin. He's 9.5 seconds back.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. We'll bookmark that time there. 9.7 seconds with 18 minutes of racing to go. Keep in mind, he won the feature race by 21 seconds, so he's fast. And he was almost a second faster than some of these guys in qualifying. Godin comfortably out in front of Newton. Go ahead.
And I was just going to say, Godin, right now, he is turning some great laps. He's running 52s, high to mid 52s, and that will get it done as long as this traffic in between continues what looks to be a pretty good pace of their own.
Let's go to 8th, because I think Sarah is going to have to fend off another hot shoe here. Here comes Christoph Holstein. And Christoph's going to get the move as they come down into the chicane. And I think that he should be able to finish that one up. Sarah tucks back into 9th. But she won't have much respite here, because coming up behind him is the oven mitt, Michael Mittner. There we go. You can see Mittner back there in the red and white car. There's a good shot of it. To catch, we talked about him. He's racing in 11th position. He's ahead of Knut Martinson. Go ahead.
Mittner gets that spot from Sarah Dove down in 1. Oof, he threw it in there. Send it.
Did. He said, I'm taking this one.
And take it he did. That puts Mittner now up to 9th.
Let's jump up to 6th. This is Daniel Morris. Why are we talking about him? Because here he comes. The Berryman is back behind him, and he should be there. Boy. I looked at it and go, man, there's plenty of time before I need to get to this one. No, that's not the case. Berryman is so fast. The interval closes so quickly.
It really does, Sue. It's amazing. He is really, really hooked up at this track.
Look at the run he gets out of the Dunlop curve. Now they work through the S's. This is flat out. He should probably be able to get him going into 11th. This is the left-hander coming up. Yep. I'll take that spot. I don't know how much of a battle Morris put up there. So the Red Devil driver falls back into 7th. Move the Apex Racing UK driver up to 6th. The man who is teamed up with Scott Newton, who is racing up in 2nd position right now. Another good points day for Apex Racing UK. And Sean, when we talk about drivers he has to go through, at least one of the drivers ahead of Berryman is one of his teammates, so that might make it a little bit easier. Maybe.
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 Maybe not. You know, Kerry Nolden back here in 12th. Knut Martinson not able to get out of that 13th spot, but I will say he's giving Kerry Nolden a mirror full right now and a lot to think about as they head down to turn 1. Kerry goes a little defensive there, able to keep Knut out of it. Knut going to go try and go under. Nope, he's just going to follow there out of turn 1.
That battle. Going to P5 real quick. This is a great battle. Oh my goodness, we couldn't get there fast enough. Berryman got Tierney and Morris. Gee whiz. Just not fair.
No, it's not, Sue.
That's impossible.
It's the end of the top 5, and you know what? 14 and a half minutes to go, Sue. That gap now down to 7.8 seconds.
Now, Jean-Francois Godin out there in front. He'll need to scroll down. I imagine he probably doesn't care. He's probably just running the best laps he can. But it'll be interesting if he comes in for an interview to realize right now if I was comfortable out in front with my 3.4 second lead or if he is hot lapping right now, knowing that there's some big names coming.
Nah, he better be hot lapping.
Yeah.
He has any real intention of winning this race.
Yeah.
He better be putting down the very best laps he can because Peter Berryman is on the way. I have no doubt Berryman's going to find some way to get around these 3 drivers in front of him.
Newton, his teammate, Phil Reed, and Manuel Hoyer. Those are some pretty big names up there. But when you got one of those black license plates on there, you don't earn those by not being able to get it done.
Yeah, Soup, honestly, at the rate he's been clipping along, I don't know the time is going to be an issue right now. We're clicking down to that 13-minute mark. Again, the rate he is bringing this down now, almost to 7 seconds behind Jean-Francois Godin. I think it's not a matter of if, but when he does have to drive this course, he does have to get around those 3 cars. Boy, what a torrid pace.
Director, looking back here at Kerry Nolden in 11th. He's got to catch ahead of him. Sarah Dove, who's having a hard time keeping pace there. She's fallen off. That's a good battle for 10th. If we move up a bit, a couple spots up, there's a nice battle for 8th. This is Holstein ahead of Mittner. And then you see at the top of your screen there, those guys
Lee Robinson with trouble, Soup. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Robinson goes sliding off, and Urka Lindstrom hits him.
Boy,
Poor Urka had nowhere to go there. Oh, Lee checked up. Lee checked up to avoid hitting Alexander Waldo. That was the blue and yellow car that was in front of him. Tough break for those guys.
There you see it. Now we are back live. Looking at Phil Reed in 3rd.
And Kerry Nolden just got around Christian to catch, trying to get it back.
That was that battle we were looking at. To catch falls. Oh, look at this run now. If we can see it, to catch trying to get that Nolden in the blue car, to catch in the red car. Dove and Martinson behind watching on. I don't think they're going to be a factor right now. I think Nolden probably faster. Let's see if Takech can get in the tow, get something done as they work down into the first corner. Look at the defensive line that Nolden takes. That means Takesha's going to have to do it on the top side. Now he's going to get, watch the drive. Oh no, he gets a horrible drive off. I thought he might be able to get a good run off of there because Nolden took such a shallow entry, but that didn't work out.
Hey, he locked up that right front getting around.
Yeah.
And then slides it out of turn 2. Don't want to make that right front angry, get it too hot. He apparently has, because look what Nolden's doing. He's pulling away here.
Yeah. Now up front, the bad news for Godot, the gap is shrinking. The good news is he's still got those 3 cars cushioned behind him. And Berryman not really making much ground. I almost think that Newton might actually be closing in on the back of Godot. Still about 3.4 seconds. Let's look at second position. This is Phil Reed starting to feel a little frisky right now on the back of Newton.
Yeah, it really is, Soup. I mean, almost got to him there up the straight. Gonna get a run at him here again. Will he or won't he? A little bit. You see, picking up the toe there just a bit. Phil right there out of the chicane. Good run through the chicane for Phil Reed.
Boy, and when you look at what Berryman, he doesn't close the gap so much on the straightaways where everybody's full throttle, but what he does under braking and through the technical section is frightening. Almost like he's racing in a different class of vehicle there as he closes the gap. We're looking
you're saying they gave him the Formula 1 motor.
Yeah, something. Or wider tires or something. We're looking here at Dove and Knut Martinson. The orange Viking on the inside, little bird on the top side. And give it to Kmart. Oh, Sarah fighting back, wants that spot back. Now, she's going to have to settle for 13th right now. That's a good battle. Those guys have raced a lot together. Things are heating up front now. Going a little bit wide was Hoyer, and I think that may open the door for Berryman. Hoyer has no way. He takes the defensive line as they work through Dunlop. Berryman tries to get the power down. He gets a pretty good drive off of 8. Now they go side by side through 9 and 10, the S's. That's going to slow Berryman's lap time down, but he gets the pass made. Move him up to 4th. Lost a little bit of time back to Reed. Reed now sees the big man in his rearview mirror and would like to see if he can get Newton. With 8.5 minutes to go, the gap back to Berryman is now, 5 seconds.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. We hit the 8-minute mark here in about 10 seconds.
Good news for the French-Canadian, he's got a little cushion. Newton and Reed between him and Berryman. Go ahead, Sean.
My timing and scoring is telling me it's going to be about 5 laps. It's going to decide this race.
Well, if he had a clear track ahead of him, I think that second interval could be doable. Not without traffic. Let's go up to second position. The defensive line from Newton. Now a little dipsy-do there from Reed as he's going to go side by side. Both of those guys are going to have horrible runs through the through this carousel section here, 2, 3, and 4, the stadium part of the track. They're side by side. This could open the door for Berryman. Look at Berryman take the wide entrance. He's going to blow by these guys now. A little bit of a blink from the UK driver, but he gets around.
Oh no!
Where is he?
He's back on track.
Whoa. And he was able. He did not make the pass. Okay, I'm back on him now.
Okay, yeah, now he's making the pass on Newton. Now it gets it. He clears him. Clears Newton down here in Dunlop.
And Hoyer, which is coming up, he's coming up from 11th. Hoyer would like to get this as well. Let's watch Hoyer and Newton for a minute.
That fight cost him those Soup. It cost him big time. Jean-Francois Godin now over 6 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, well, he caught him in his best part of the track, and I'm talking about Berryman, that technical section where he makes up all of his time. But unfortunately, since he was side by side and had to work so hard, he wasn't able to take advantage of how good he was there. and didn't close the gap as much as you like to the leader. Newton not giving up as he's in the tow as they go down into the 14-15 chicane.
Boy, and Phil Reed digging right now. I mean, he sees what's in his mirror. He does not want to give up that spot.
So, Sean, I would say with the fight that Newton put on there with his teammate there were no team orders there. Newton made Berryman work for him.
Yeah, no. Newton was looking across saying, "I have no idea who you are, man. Get out of my way."
5.5 minutes of racing, just over 5.5 minutes of racing to go.
Boy, Berryman has really got this tight now on Phil Reed. Phil doing the best he can to defend here down in turn 3. Gonna hook it back up in 4th turn.
And this is what makes that double so impressive when you can get that done. But once he can get around Reed, and I say once he can because I think it's a matter of not when, but if, or not if, but when. As he's on the back, here he comes now as he looks to the side. Again, watch the drive that he gets off of here. He's going to try to get a drive off through Dunlop. He gets a good exit, gets the power down. Oh, not able to get side by side through there. He'll have to do it under braking into 11. Reed knows that. Reed takes the defensive line. See you later. No, he didn't. I apologize. He was on the outside.
Oh, go Phil! Oh! Oh, maybe a little defensive there by Berryman. It keeps Phil in check. Berryman has climbed most of this mountain. He's just got to get to the summit. He's gonna have to get through Phil Reed to do it, though. Oh! Phil.
And watch out, that is Hoyer making a move as he gets it. And now those guys have a horrible exit. This is Newton maybe have thoughts of getting through there. Hoyer jumps up into 3rd.
Boy, did Berryman maybe get a little greedy there? Maybe a little karma? I don't know. But right now, Phil Reed, probably with a little bit of a smile on his face, he's got to do it for 3 more laps. So.
I'll tell you who is the top dues payer in the Phil Reed fan club, and that is Jean-Francois Godin. Thank you very much, Mr. Reed.
Yeah, because Godin now up 8.2 seconds, or let's call it 8. Remember, Soup, it was like 9.5.
Hoyer got a little bit loose. He's going to lose a spot to Newton. Newton takes that.
Stevie Chambers making up for missing this race by giving us some great comments here in the chat. Phil, round the outside Reed.
Round the outside Reed. Let's go to P8 right now. That's Daniel Moore. Oh, this is a pinata full of bees right here. Morris, Nolden in the blue car watching the whole thing is Mittner.
Nolden trying to attack here, Sue. Nolden really trying to attack. Mittner back there looking to make a move. Now Nolden goes to the inside, into the left-hander. Nolden going to get the spot. Got the sweeper back here to the right. Got to manage here at Bilstein, and boy, Nolden with a great run there out of Bilstein.
Yeah, now watch Mittner try to outbrake Morris as they come down into the chicane. Morris trying to get to the right side of the track. That's going to be the outside of boy. And there it is. Michael, the oven. Mittner takes 9th position. Oh! And Morris gets loose right in front of to catch. He gathers it up. Christian must have felt like he was from France because he got an eyeful of that one.
Oh, that was unfortunate. That was such a close one to catch. Oh, I'm going to need a moment to recover from that, too. Boy, to catch just misses him. Man. Great job by Takechi getting by that.
Okay. All right. Minute and a half of racing to go. Jean-Francois go up in front by 6. Go ahead, Sean.
Unless Jean-Francois makes a mistake, I don't think Peter Berryman's going to catch him. But Phil Reed Boy, I'll tell you what, buddy. Hang on here. This last lap and a half is going to be a wild ride because here comes Peter Berman. He's charging up now right here in the Dunlop car.
With apologies to all the other battles going on right there, we're going to stay on this one for a second because this is from some big names. Former champion Phil Reed trying to hold off this hotshot newcomer Peter Berman. Reed inching over, not getting Berman any room, but he gives him enough.
And a mistake. Oh, a bit of a mistake there from Peter Berman. Boy, that's going to be hard to recover from now, Sue.
Yeah, I have no problem with that race crash from Phil Reed. He left him room, but he didn't want to. He moved over all the way. He wanted the best entry into that corner as he could. Oh, let's go behind. Here's a pass. Newton gets around Hoyer. My goodness. I said we weren't going to follow it, but since it's cooling off a little bit for second. And that's Holstein in the blue car back there. Scored in 6th right now.
Well, it's not going to be an awful day for Berman if he finishes 3rd. We're going to have one last shot here, Soup. This is the final lap.
The timer is down to 0. When our leader comes around, he will get the checkered flag. But right now, we're focusing on the battle for 2nd. Phil Reed has fended him off, at least twice that I can think of.
Oh, more than that.
Yeah.
Over the last several laps here, more than that. Phil doing a great job.
They head down into Dunlop. This is the sweeping right-hander. It's a big looping right-hander that goes around. Berman trying to, But look at the drive off from the going to get a wide exit from Reed. He gets a good drive off, and now they go through the S's. Our leader is just going through 12, so it's a while. We can stay on this.
Boy. Phil doing a great job of being just defensive enough without being overtly rude. You know what I mean?
We'll stay on this. I'm watching the leader so we can make the call. The leader just going through 14 and 15 right now. We can follow this one down into this chicane. This is where the pass will be made. No, there it is. A spin from Reed.
Oh, and Phil
meanwhile,
right on the incident
our
limit.
leader, Jean-Francois Godin, goes around Coca-Cola and picks up the sprint race win. Peter Berman is going to get 2nd position. How's Phil Reed going to come across? He's going to get rolling again?
No, Phil DQ'd.
He DQ'd.
Phil DQ'd.
That's going to give 3rd spot to Newton, who just nipped Hoyer, and Holstein. We probably have some more battles we can pick up. Let's go back.
Can't believe that.
Let's go back to Sarah Dove in 12th. Is she in a fight here? Nope. I think she's going to come across ahead of Knut Martinson. And I think there aren't any other battles left in the field. Sean, we're going to go back and look at the replay.
Yeah, let's look at that here real quick. Oh, I'm just gutted for Phil right now. And there he is, on point. Go side by side, Suit, with Berryman, and a little bit of contact,
now,
and he slides off.
Could he have, he had a clean race. Could he have used up his incidents? Just picking them up little by little, and then that was the one that...
Yeah, now listen, if you fight the track boundaries here, you can pick up those X's. And apparently he was digging out, and you see the wheel-to-wheel contact. It does not end well.
Yeah, that was probably at least 4 there. So yeah, that's what it's gonna get him. Okay, well, the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship never fails to give you an exciting race, especially in these 25-minute sprint races. And once again, it holds true to form. We're going to take a short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel, but we will be back in just a minute to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and close up shop. Don't go far. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, Round 8 from the Nurburgring, the Grand Prix circuit. Sean standing at the up here in the broadcast booth. We have the door open, ready for some interviews. He's got some hot chocolate for you guys and cookies, so come on in and let us hear about it. Let's go ahead and run down the finishing order of the sprint race while we wait for some drivers to come up and have a sip of some cocoa. Jean-Francois Godin was able to go wire to wire thanks to some of the efforts by Phil Reed, who you're not seeing on the overlay right now, but he was able to slow down Peter Berriman enough that Berriman could not get to the French-Canadian driver. Berriman not able to do the back-to-back, not able to do the double. He's going to have to settle for a first and second, but look for him to be at the top of the points chart again this week. Scott Newton, Manuel Hoyer, and Christoph Holstein round out your top 5. Kerry Nolden, Michael the Oven Mittner, Adam Tierney, Christian Tkach was only able to get up to 9th from 14th, and rounding out your top 10, Tkach's partner, Daniel Morris. Sean?
All right, and it was a valiant effort by Sarah Dove, but she's going to have to settle for 11th today. Followed by Knut Martinson in 12th, Darren Potter, 13th. Alexander Waldo, 14th place finish for Alexander, up 11 spots. Soup. Good run for Waldo. Patrick Kessler, 15th. Andy, the Milkman Cowie, 16th. Evan Imre, 17th. Phil Reed going to finish a lap down. Boy, what a battle for Phil. I really hated that for him. 18th. Urka Lindstrom, 19th. And Lee Robinson going to round out the top 20.
Andy Warhol talked about everyone having 15 minutes of fame. Well, how about 15 seconds of fame for Tobias Pompey as he started on the front in the pole position. He's going to finish 9 laps down in 21st, but he did a good job while he was up there. Daniel Barrero finished last on the lead lap in the feature race. Is going to finish in 22nd. Silvio Hurt, Aisio Talias, and Renee Osterkamp. Oh my goodness, the SimRC driver going to get no points from the sprint race today. All right, Sean, has anybody decided to come in and talk to you?
Well, I see Scott Newton. We can definitely talk to Scott Newton. Scott had I guess a good enough run to find himself up front here in the sprint race, and for his effort, he gets on the podium after that late disqualification by Phil Reed. Scott, congratulations.
Yeah, cheers, Sean. Definitely didn't expect to be on the podium after my feature mishap, but yeah, it was good battling from Phil, Pete as well. See that he had a couple of screen freezes. He was all over the place with about 3 or 4 to go. I knew he was way too quick, so I just let him go. And then obviously the battle with Holstein and Hoyer at the end was very, very difficult to hold them both off, but I managed to, thankfully.
Yeah, those two filling up your mirror there with just merely minutes to go in this race, and that's a bit of a pressure cooker, but it pays off for you in the end. And your teammate Peter, a pretty big day for him as well.
Yeah, definitely a 1-2. A win and then a second place in the sprint race. So yeah, definitely a big points haul for the team, which is obviously good news for us. But unfortunately, I couldn't convert it in my feature race as well, so not as many points as we hoped, but just trying to get as many points as we can to close up in the rest of the season with only 3. I think we've got 3 to go. I think.
Yes, sir. This one down. We've got 3 to go, and there'll be a lot at stake. But congratulations again for filling out this podium today, my friend. We will see you next week.
Yeah, no, cheers, Sean. We'll catch you for Spa.
That's right, and we will be off to Spa, but Soup, we've got a couple others here in the
I'm gonna talk to the man who had second place in his grasp until he decided to give it away, and this, of course, Phil Reed. My goodness, it was fun while it lasted, Phil.
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say I gave it away. I say I had it taken from me, but otherwise, yeah, it was a very, very, very good race. Just a shame it happened like that at the end, because I think, whether I'd have held on to it, I don't know. I mean, it was only 2 more corners, but Peter's too good, so he could have got it in the last corner. You never know, but yeah, shame really. But it's a good race.
Was it? We saw you blink away. You were on the incident. You were pushing it.
Well, I only had. Well, I say only. I had 8. So I was 4 away. Unfortunately, the 4 times at the end there was what got me. Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough. So second place all the way down to no points there. Nevertheless, it was good. We have never done a Formula Renault at this track. How do you like the car track combination?
Well, in terms of my pace and consistency, I'm not usually particularly good here. And I think it means I probably keep up one of my unfortunate traditions of either DNFing or DSQing at a Nurburgring race. This time again, I feel like it wasn't probably down to my own thing there, but
Understood.
yeah, it's actually a very good combination of car and track. In general, I will say, yeah, it's a very good one. It's probably one of the better ones. It's just one that I've never really gelled with. Just a couple of the change of direction corners and trying to keep it as balanced as you can over the bumps and everything. It's very difficult to keep that fine line between crashing and having a perfect line through the corner. So it's like I say, it's a real challenging circuit, and for that it makes it very fun. But yeah, not one that I've been good at.
And before I let you go, your partner Kerry Nolan, of course, for Mega Drive, he came home with the 6th. Not a great points day for the team.
No, but it could have been worse. Luckily, Kerry's up there scoring points again. Unfortunately, he didn't quite have the amount of points he possibly could have got in race 1. He's going better though, so I fully expect him to possibly be ahead. Well, he is ahead of me now, I would say, on pace generally. Consistency, I seem to generally have it a little bit further my way at the moment. But apart from today, of course, it has. Well, the last couple of rounds, it hasn't gone great. I feel like it's not. I don't know whether I could have done much more in the first race or this race to avoid anything, but it is what it is. It's not the best points result, but we could do better.
All right, Phil. Well, good luck as the season starting to wind up here. You got a chance that Coke Mitter combination. They're going to be hard to catch, but let's see what you can do.
Yes, thank you very much, guys. See you later.
Phil Reed, your almost second place finisher, and yes, I guess there is a distinction between giving it away and having it taken away.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll talk to a driver who did a lot of work in that sprint race. Manuel Hoyer, with a great run, finds himself finishing 4th. Manuel, congratulations.
Thank you.
That was a bit of a tough race. A lot going on there in the sprint.
Yeah, also the start was very tricky because there was Silvio and many other drivers that are a little bit slower, and to come through them with Phil Reed in my rear, who was pushing very hard, and yeah, he catches me up, and then I just tried to follow him and to come closer to Scott Newton. What really helps, but they too were a little bit faster than me, and Peter Berryman was pushing behind me very, very strong, and yeah, it was difficult for me to hold the pace. But yeah, after he overtook me, then I come closer to Scott, and we had a really nice fight for the 3rd position until the end, after Phil Reed spun in the last chicane.
Manuel, it's Soup here. I know earlier on in the season you were getting real discouraged with some. It seemed like you couldn't get out of the first lap before your race would end. Starting to turn it around, though, now. You're starting to feel a little more optimistic about your racing?
Yeah, the last races were very
better, huh?
Disappointed.
Yeah.
And today I spun after 6 laps, so the way go up.
Yeah.
And next race, I hope I get the feature race without the spin.
Well, it helps if you can start up front like you did today, where at least you're out of the traffic, you were out in front. So good luck to you the rest of the way. Looks like the pace is coming here at the end of the season, so we'll keep an eye on you.
Thank you.
Manuel Hoyer, Led for a little while in the feature. Not going to get a win so far. Up, and now we have Sarah in here. Sarah's in a little noisy background. Sarah, you have a copy?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Sarah. How? Some good racing. You got to race up front for a while?
Yeah, I finally actually had a pretty good night. Mainly the sprint race I thought was really good.
Yeah, Sarah, and the sprint race was good. You finished 11th. Not a bad effort. Talk about this track for a second, though. This track has several challenges, doesn't it?
Yeah. The main things that I have the most trouble with is the big hairpin down the hill and the chicane, because it's just so tight and so bumpy. It's just really hard for me to get the car around it as fast as the top guys.
Sarah, we watch it, and it's funny that the racing gods always seem to team you up. It seems like every race you're teamed up with Knut Martinson. You guys run a similar pace, don't you? You're battling again.
I think on a good day I'm usually as fast, and sometimes I'm a bit slower than him. But yeah, I seem to have some good races with him. So that's pretty good. Yeah. I think unfortunately he got some damage on the floor, so he dropped back a bit. But the battle was good with him.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on you. It was fun. It was fun watching you there. There was one time where you had all the big guys coming through. You did a good job of in the feature race where they made their pit stops, and you were out in front of guys like I guess it would have been like Nolden and Reed and all those guys coming through. You raced right with them, so it was fun watching you.
It was. I think it went pretty smoothly letting them pass. I didn't kill anyone, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, it was good.
Always a plus, indeed. Yes,
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, congratulations. We'll keep an eye on it the rest of the way.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Sarah Dove. Sean, always fun to talk to her.
Yeah, definitely. Fun for the fans to get to hear her, and you know what? She, like many others today, put on a great performance here at the Grand Prix circuit here at the Nurburgring. This was a fun race. I had a feeling it would be, and I appreciate a little confirmation there about my feelings about this track, and I think this is actually a pretty good one. This combination, again, the Formula Renault 2.0, this Grand Prix circuit proved to be a lot of fun.
And you can see the driver's starting to get some seasoning under there. There was such talk earlier on in seasons about the sprint race and all the big ones that are happening. Yeah, we still have incidents, but they're not the massive multi-car horrible atrocities that we have been seeing. A few incidents, so I like the format. Let's keep it going, right, buddy?
Absolutely, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because that was something I was thinking about in the closing laps. I'm like, this has been a really, really great feature and sprint race today. Last week was a great one. Let's keep it going, man. It's, again, just a lot of fun. Thanks, Sue.
Series had to go through some growing pains. We'd like to thank everybody at Apex Online Racing for organizing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, and to all the members who supported this broadcast. We know you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks for the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music that you heard today. Look on the screen to how to contact Casey Lalonde and Eric Eckelman. Download some of their digital stuff. Sean?
The AOR returns next week, Friday, August the 18th, for round 10 from Spa. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. For more information about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We have a huge social media presence. Find us there, Twitter, @GSR Channel, and Facebook. Yes, Facebook. Global Sim Racing Channel. All one word. Type that in. We'll pop right up.
And now, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Andros, our director, Amjad Yaman, our camera artist, Dougie Beard, and the man who contributed to the broadcast by typing incessantly from the YouTube chat, a special shout out to little Stevie Chambers for his contribution here today. We'd like to thank all of you guys for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.